What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with another NFL video. So today I wanted to talk about, something that hasn't really been talked about a whole lot, I feel like, and that is rookie quarterbacks. I feel like since the draft, people have kind of forgotten about the quarterbacks. I mean, they were taken 1-2, and they haven't been talked about that much. Out of this draft class overall, I think people have been mainly focusing on, which is good. I mean, you shouldn't be focusing on any individual position, but I feel like for the first time in a while, people have been focusing on the overall draft, not just one group of players. So, what I'm doing today is naming for you guys who I think will be the best rookie quarterback and then 3 reasons why. So, let me name for you really the 3 candidates that are probably just going to be starting at any point, or at least the 3 people that have the best chance of starting this year. That's obviously the 3 first-round picks: Paxton Lynch, Jared Goff, and Carson Wentz. Lynch could have a great year. I did a video about him yesterday, and again, I think he has a lot of potential. Jared Goff has actually been given a pretty good offense to work with. One of the best running backs in the NFL, in my opinion, in Todd Gurley. And then there's Carson Wentz, who I actually think will be the best. I just gave you reasons why I think the other 2 could be the best, but again, I just like to do that. I think all 3 of them have ways that they could be good, just because there's always a reason for a player to be good or bad. You can't just discount a player completely. But in my opinion, Carson Wentz will be the best. And again, 3 reasons why. First one, if you are an Eagles fan, the predominant 2 starting quarterbacks, at least while you were good over the last 5 or 6 years, have been Michael Vick and Nick Foles. You've had Sam Bradford, Mark Sanchez, other players intertwined there in between, but those have been the predominant 2, and both of them are completely different style quarterbacks. Obviously, Michael Vick, one of the most elusive quarterbacks of all time. If you haven't seen the Vick Bleacher Report documentary, I know it's completely off subject, but definitely go check that out. It's actually a really good one. I talk about Bleacher Report a lot, but that's just because it's entertaining. I wouldn't take any real advice from it, though. And also Nick Foles, a player who is incredibly safe with what he does. Rarely threw interceptions because he would rather take the sack than the interception. Accurate quarterback at that, but not very athletic. Carson Wentz, in my mind, is a great mixture of the 2. He has, from what we've seen, he can spin the ball. Now, I'm not going to say that this dude's some high-level quarterback that beat the best level of competition in college football, because that's just not true. Carson Wentz is a guy at his pro day, from what we saw, from his time in North Dakota State, again, from what we saw, can spin the ball. Had a lot of hype going in. Again, runs about a 4.55 or a 4.6 40. Let me look up that 40 time just so I can be sure on that. Oh, that's off. All right, 4.77. This is official time. Granted, still, I believe that was still the highest out of all. Let me make sure of that, because I know Jared Goff had a sneaky high one. 4.82. All right, so Carson Wentz, out of 3 quarterbacks at the fastest 40, he is known as the most athletic of those 3. I mean, he's a little bit shorter than Paxton Lynch, so that helps out a little bit. But anyway, he's elusive. He is a very good quarterback at escaping the pocket. Anyway, my second reason is the wide receivers. Again, that might be a head scratcher to most of you because, I don't really know what they have to go off of. Jordan Matthews had a ton of hype heading into last year, and then it's just every name I see on the depth chart just screams like potential mix to me. Not superstars maybe, but players that can work out together. Nelson Aguilar, ton of potential out of USC. Josh Huff, good while he was at Oregon. Again, didn't get a whole lot of exposure at Oregon. Same thing with Braylon Addison. I feel like both of them were very good while they were there. But again, just not that much exposure. Ruben Randall, good wide receiver from the Giants. Again, just never. He actually was pretty good while he got the chance, but again, never really got the chance to live up to what he wanted to do because of Victor Cruz and Odell Beckham Jr. TJ Graham, very fast receiver out of NC State. I don't think he's gonna do that much. He hasn't really made much of what he's been able to, or what he's had in the NFL. I believe he's been with the 49ers and the Bills, at least out of my recollection. And then Caleb Jones. I know I just named the entire depth chart to you guys. The Caleb Jones, rookie out of Arizona. I think this group can mesh. I really like this group of wide receivers. Jordan Matthews, man, you got to get rid of the case of the drops. You got to be more consistent. But again, he's shown star potential before. Just one bad season. Demaryius Thomas showed a case of the drops, and people are hurting him for it, but people still consider him to be, top 10, top 15 receiver in this league. Jordan Matthews was considered to maybe be, by the end of this year, a top 10 receiver, or by the end of last NFL season, to be a top 10 receiver. He had that type of potential, and I still think he does. So, and also they have a pretty deep set of tight ends between Brent Selleck and Zach Ertz. I think Zach Ertz also has star potential at tight end. He's had that for a while, though, so we'll see if he can finally live up to it. Third one, and I think this is the biggest one. Maybe out of the 3 quarterbacks drafted, Carson Wentz has the least expectations. Jared Goff, number 1 overall pick, with a former first-round pick in Todd Gurley, moving to Los Angeles. Expectations are high. You look at Paxton Lynch. If he starts with the Broncos, former Super Bowl champs, given an offense that's ready to go, even with where he was drafted, expectations are high. Carson Wentz, drafted number 2 overall, not expected to start the year because actually he's last on the depth chart right now, I believe, behind Chase Daniel and Sam Bradford, on a team that's not expected to do that much this year, in a division that's, let's be honest, normally not that very competitive, very entertaining, but not that good. No one really dominates it. Expectations are a little bit lower. Not as much pressure for a rookie in his position. Given a pretty good offense, granted, if they can stay healthy and live up to what I think I can build them to. All right, so that'll pretty much do it for why I think Carson Wentz can be a successful NFL quarterback, why he could be the best in this rookie class of quarterbacks. I wanted to give you guys a few other names to watch out for this year. I'm going to put these all in the description below. Not the reasons why, but just the names that I mentioned. Cody Kessler to the Cleveland Browns. Quick little spiel on him. Did pretty good while he was at USC. Never lived up to that USC hype that you get every single year, but that's just a separate thing. Really trusted by his Cleveland Browns head coach, and there's been backup quarterbacks in the last few years that have actually had success with the Cleveland Browns that have not been good anywhere else. Brian Hoyer, take that for example, somehow, I believe, won like 6 or 7 games with Cleveland. Anyway, Christian Hackenberg to the New York Jets. Again, was not in a good situation while he was at Penn State. All years he was there. Terrible offensive line, no protection, no consistency in the post-Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky era. With massive hype. Not a good situation to be in. Jacoby Brissett. Very interesting name to pay attention to. NC State. I mean, obviously he finished at Wisconsin, but let's think of 2 other quarterbacks in the last, 10, 15 years out of NC State. Russell Wilson, Phillip Rivers, 2 of the top 15 best quarterbacks in the NFL, arguably top 10. I'm going to do a separate video about that, though. It's not trying to plug it, but just to let you guys know. And he might get a chance to start while Tom Brady's suspended if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't live up to the hype. Or he might just get a chance to start anyway. Who knows? Last one, Kevin Hogan to the Kansas City Chiefs. Kevin Hogan's always kind of intrigued me because he has this Andrew Luck-esque, part to his game. Just the throwing power and just the decision-making, it's there. And while I'm not saying he's Andrew Luck by any stretch of the mind, he doesn't have the same athleticism or the same accuracy in my mind, same ability to make plays. But it went to 3 Rose Bowls in 4 years. Now, here's the thing. He's in a unique situation with 2 coaches that you don't get that often. He's had 2 tremendous head coaches between David Shaw and Andy Reid. And both of them believe very highly in him. And David Shaw thinks it's going to be a great situation for him in Kansas City. And you know what? Alex Smith's days are probably numbered in Kansas City. Kevin Hogan could be the next one up. I'm not saying to watch out for him this year, but long term, maybe. You never know. Tall white quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, most of them all are tall white quarterbacks. So Then again, that's a very big generalization. I'll take that one and just say that was kind of a bad generalization. Anyway, that's like saying that. And yeah, anyway. That'll pretty much do it for this video. Like I said, just wanted to give you guys like an idea of what I think about starting quarterbacks, or not even starting quarterbacks, just rookie quarterbacks this year for the NFL. They're not expected to play that big of a role this year, but you never know what the reality is going to be come this fall when the NFL season comes around. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So yeah.